Thank you. Thank you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jigar Shah, and I'm the Director of the Loan Programs Office at the U.S. Department of Energy. Under President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Secretary Granholm's leadership, along with the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act and bipartisan infrastructure law, we are onshoring and reshoring energy manufacturing and supply chains in this country, decarbonizing our grid, and building clean, abundant energy systems here in America that will keep Americans safe, secure, and lead to economic prosperity. My background is not the typical one for a public servant. I started my career as a solar entrepreneur in the early 2000s, took out a home equity line of credit on my home to start my first business, Sun Edison. I was mostly laughed at by the energy industry when I believed solar would be a viable part of our energy grid. In 2004, the U.S. had 58 megawatts of solar installed throughout the United States. Today, we have 161,000 megawatts of solar capacity, 2,000 times what we had in 2004. Today, we are at the precipice for technology diffusion for so many technologies, from electric vehicles, advanced nuclear, virtual power plants, and hydrogen, all of which we're financing at the Loan Programs Office. Much like we were with solar when I got started in the industry, this will be the economic story and inflection point of this generation, and we cannot miss this mark. The Biden-Harris administration's Investing in America agenda contains sweeping economic investments that will reverberate through American life for generations to come. The administration's holistic, future-facing industrial strategy marks a fundamental departure from the economic theories that have failed America's middle class for decades, and underscores the President and Vice President's deep commitment to building a safer and healthier future for the American people. At its core, this administration's Investing in America agenda is a private sector-led, government-enabled strategy driving deep and durable growth and fairness. Its ambitious goals, which extend far beyond an immediate impact on specific industries, include revitalizing America's manufacturing, countering global economic and geopolitical threats, reducing carbon emissions, economic and uplifting underserved communities, marginalized by underinvestment and overburdened by pollution. This is a profound alignment of public and private resources similar to the Pacific Railway Act of 1862, which helped build our nation's railroads, and the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956, which helped build our national highway system. Under President Biden, the U.S. Department of Energy is providing game-changing financing to innovative energy projects in every corner of the country, encouraging private sector investment and driving sustainable growth. Since the passage of IRA, my office, the Loan Programs Office, has offered over $33 billion of conditional commitments and closed loans spanning the electric vehicle and stationary storage supply chain, marking an important step. Once finalized, these projects will create tens of thousands of well-paying construction and operating jobs. We'll also displace an estimated 2.9 billion gallons of fuel. LPO is leaning into opportunity with solid projects making the batteries needed to meet the President's 50% plug-in hybrid and electric vehicle goal by 2030. Critical minerals processing to meet the 30D onshoring and reshoring goals in graphite, lithium, and recycling, EV manufacturing for SUV and pickup trucks, silicon carbide wafer manufacturing for chips for EVs, wire harnesses, and other important supply chain investments. We have other solid projects in clean hydrogen, restarting nuclear, creating carbon black for tires with fertilizer as a co-product, a blue ammonia plant in Wabash in Indiana. We have virtual power plants, methane detection, and long-duration energy storage. We have a solid track record of union construction labor, promising numbers of conversations on operating unions, and impressive community benefits plans. Our pipeline of projects is growing as a result of real-life stories of high-quality job creation, community redevelopment, and the onshoring and reshoring of American manufacturing industry that has been hollowed out for decades. It is also important to note that the innovator and entrepreneurship community is beginning to trust us again. After years of dogma that offshoring was the only way to create a successful infrastructure business, We are starting to see real interest from our most successful companies and entrepreneurs on bold projects that need our debt to succeed. As the Secretary suggested many times, we have to keep America irresistible while convincing shareholders on the value of family-sustaining jobs and community benefits. We are doing well here, but this is not a set of muscles folks have exercised in a very long time. And frankly, there's a lot of bridge building to do, but we're doing the hard work, and we have a lot to show for it. Before I close, I'd like to touch on some of the progress LPO has made with nuclear development. We've closed the loans at the Vogtle nuclear plant in Georgia. Both units 3 and 4 are successfully operating today. We're also on track to restarting the first closed nuclear plant in the United States at Palisades in Michigan. Vogtle is not the only large nuclear plant in the United States. It's actually the largest of any type in the entire country. In the course of building Vogtle, 3 of the biggest challenges were solved. We now have a complete design, a supply chain to build that design, and 13,000 trained workers who can construct that design. People are remembering we made the reactors bigger on purpose and to create powerful economies of scale. In Michigan, Holtec has already hired 200 people who previously worked at the Palisades nuclear plant, and nuclear creates high-quality, family-sustaining jobs. While we've made great progress on these 2 loans, the nuclear industry still needs to narrow down, select designs, and get to 5 gigawatts at least of each design, or 1 gigawatt for microreactors. The U.S. has built over 50 different commercial reactor designs, which has hindered learning in the industry. The nuclear industry must also focus on multi-unit designs, which are 30% cheaper to operate than single-unit plants, of which we have over 20. It's hard to decarbonize our economy and the energy system. It's hard to onshore and reshore manufacturing after 4 decades of outsourcing. It's hard to build, invest, and take risks on first-of-a-kind projects our country has yet to see, but so desperately needs. And it's even harder to do all of this while making sure we protect communities and create family-sustaining jobs for our citizens. My hope is that we at the Loan Programs Office, with our colleagues across the U.S. Department of Energy, are proving that we can do hard things, big things, that America and all of us can do the hard things that it takes to ensure our country remains the strongest, most competitive nation in the world for generations to come. I know we can do it, and we need your help if we're going to succeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Director Shah. Well, that's the day. This marks the end of the 8th Annual National Clean Energy Week Policy Symposium. Thank you all for joining us to hear from the brightest minds in the industry, and I hope you learned something during the conversation. Together, we can and will accelerate the development of in the U.S. to meet energy demands, strengthen our economy, reduce our reliance on foreign entities, and lower global emissions. Finally, I want to do one last thank you to our sponsors. Without it, we could not host National Clean Energy Week. We greatly appreciate your partnership, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration. Now we're on to our VIP reception and dinner. We hope that you will join us outside for the fun, and thank you again.